What is clear so far is that we are doing a terrible job of taking care of people that it is very easy for all of us not to care about. But here's the thing. Increasingly, we aren't taking care of them at all. Private subcontractors have steadily been taking over certain services, like the Aramark Corporation, who provide food to prisons and a promise that with Aramark you can expect more savings. And hey, look, when you're being thrifty with food costs, what's the worst that can happen?
Records show 65 instances where Aramark employees failed to provide food or ran out.
The private vendor Aramark changed recipes to include cheaper, sometimes substandard ingredients.
Aramark Correctional Services made headlines recently after maggots were found in food served at prisons here in Michigan.
That is not good. The only time when you are happy to hear the words maggots were found is when you are a maggot whose family was lost at sea. We floated 3 days on a piece of bread, but we never lost hope. And it's not just food being privatised, it's prison healthcare too. Arizona tried that. Guess how it turned out.
Medical spending in prisons dropped by $30 million, and staffing levels plummeted. 50 people died in Arizona Department of Corrections custody in just the first 8 months of this year. Compare that to 37 deaths in the previous 2 years combined.
50 deaths? At this point, you could hire the people who pretend to be doctors on Grey's Anatomy, and you would probably have a lower mortality rate and a lot more intrigue. Many states are even contracting out entire prisons. Nearly 9% of prisons are currently run by private firms like GEO Group and Corrections Corporation of America, who had combined revenues of over $3 billion last year. They're publicly traded, and while their marketing materials emphasise how much they do to help their prisoners rebuild their lives, their pitch to investors has been a little bit different.
In a recent investor presentation, CCA pitches its unique investment opportunity. Another reason investing in the jailing of people makes good financial sense: high recidivism.
Oh, that is a great way to reassure your investors. Look, we see your concerns, you know, what if we fully rehabilitate the prisoners and they become fully functional members of society? Well, don't worry, that's not the kind of company we're running here, don't worry. Once we're done with these prisoners, they're like human boomerangs. They're broken right in the middle and they keep coming back. The key problem with running prisons as businesses is that prisons are then run as businesses. Pay and staffing ratios are so much lower that a GEO Group youth facility in Mississippi sometimes had just 2 officers overseeing as many as 256 prisoners. That facility eventually closed, but only after a federal judge wrote that physical and sexual abuse was rampant there because its operators had allowed a cesspool of unconstitutional and inhuman acts and conditions to germinate. Now, I know that GEO will say that presents an unbalanced picture of their company, so in the interest of balance, I will point out that they got an award from the state of Florida citing their bold and innovative cost-saving business practices. Although I think we all know when the state of Florida gives you an award, that award is basically sarcastic. In fact, a quick side note. The award was signed by Florida Governor Rick Scott, who has led the drive for prison privatisation in his state, but on one condition.
What I've said all along is that this is an opportunity for the taxpayers of the state to save money. There's no way we'll do this if we don't save money. As you know, what the bill says is that we don't save at least 7%. We don't do prison privatization.
Hey. Listen, if you think Rick Scott is going to look the other way for a company with a history of the physical abuse of minors for savings of a mere 6%, you don't know Rick Scott, OK? Ricky needs 7. Ricky wants 7. Ricky likes 7, OK? Now, if you happen at all to be interested in asking Rick Scott about the conduct of the GEO Group, for goodness sake, don't do it tomorrow night. He's busy. We actually checked, and he's going to be at a fundraiser at the home of, and this is true, the CEO of GEO Group. I believe the theme of that fundraiser is a cesspool of unconstitutional and inhumane acts. Look...